action. It's like they
Here we go, take one.
Yeah, take one. I love it. They count us down here. Good thing we're ready, almost.
Mm-hmm.
So my topic.
You look like you're fired up today.
Fired up. Accountability.
Okay. What does it mean to you?
To me, it's being responsible for your actions.
Okay.
Okay? And if you have a job to do, you are accountable to do it. You have to do it. Okay? If you're hired to be a teacher, you don't go in and sit there. You teach.
You shouldn't.
You should.
You shouldn't, but
I had
yeah.
substitutes that used to go in and the kids used to say, she did the crossword puzzle. I said, I left plans. Nope. You sit there and read the paper and do the crossword puzzle and let the kids do whatever they want. That's accountability. If you have a job to do and you're getting paid for a job. And the interesting thing that we're bringing up, that this came up, is in Victoria Elementary, and probably at Cambridge too, the theme is accountability this year.
Okay, well, and I know that Victoria's got several different, I thought it was courage and kindness and all that.
Yes, and one, I know that.
Because it's like divided into different.
Yes, I know the second grade, our grandson was talking about accountability, and that's the theme, and I love that idea. I wish they would incorporate a few more things like stress and, meditation and stuff, but that's for another topic, and we can do that some other time, how that affects kids later on. But accountability, so they're working on that, unless, little second graders working on accountability. And he dropped.
You can't even spell the word, but hey.
He can't spell, well, he might be, but.
Yeah, he probably can.
He spilled something that he didn't get to eat his lunch, and his father said, well, did you apologize, and pick up everything and be accountable for your actions? So they're following through at home for being accountable. I'm like, well, okay.
Well, accountability does spill over into other parts of your life, right?
All the things. I think just...
And you should, I know that sometimes, like within, like, my faith community and stuff, there's a couple of us that, and you gotta really pick who you trust and stuff, but accountability. So like, I can call this person and they'll hold me to the standards that I want to follow, if you know what I'm saying.
So you're better.
So like, so if I'm trying to be this person that I say I want to be, then if I call them, they'll be like, they'll listen to me, but then they're like, okay, now, is this really how you want to act, or is this really what you want to say or do? And, it's accountable, and people with weight and stuff, they have accountability. Accountability falls over into a lot of areas of your life. Weight Watchers, it's accountable because you have to go weigh in and do things. And some things have just... So what is under your crawl? People not being accountable?
Okay.
Well, and so, no definites, but I mean...
It also came together today with lots of different things for accountability. I mean, we could look on the national level, and that's a real joke. But we won't go there right away because I'll go through the... So, last month, you bought a new vehicle, which sort of got me fired up because I've been looking for a while, and we bought a new vehicle. Not for...
We say not new.
Not new. Exactly, that's how we get along, not new.
It's new to us, and it's newer than what we had.
Yes.
But yeah, not new, brand new.
And they're definitely smarter.
It's smarter than me.
Me too, because I can't figure it was like...
I'm still learning. You should have seen me trying to park on the side of the road yesterday, because I'm used to my Subaru, and I know how to park it.
Yeah.
And I'm still not used to parking like parallel and parking on the side, and it's like, I was like, well, I'm providing entertainment.
Well, I think
it'll
do it for you, won't it, if you just push it button?
Well, mine doesn't do that yet, but it's probably coming. So anyway.
Mine will go forward and backwards if you want to just push a button, it'll drive you down straight. Yes.
Mine won't do that.
It will do that. I'm like, in fact, the salesman stood in front of it, the car was running, we were outside the car, he stood in front of it and pushed the button to go forward, and it stopped.
No, I don't want anything that does that yet.
That's scary.
It is scary.
Accountability. So, that was July 10th.
Okay.
And they gave us a temporary registration. August 10th rolls around. Haven't gotten it yet. Husband calls. She's sending out a bunch of them. You should get them by Wednesday. Okay, that's good, because we're going around. Now, within this time frame, let's keep in mind, I had my knee replaced because it was only like 2 weeks since my surgery that we purchased the vehicle. So I have a temporary handicap, a little tag on my car, which is good till December 6th. And I don't use it, but I've got it. So that tag is to my license plate because they will check. It has to be to your license plate. And when I went to the orthopedics, the last time, the police were going around and they were checking. They were behind my car to make sure that my plates were with the tag, and they could find me that I had the handicap. Okay, so we're waiting, and we did not get this registration. So my husband calls him again.
This is to the dealership? Okay.
So what do they send us?
I don't even want to know, temporary.
Yes, temporary plates with a temporary registration, which means now you have to take off our original plates, which doesn't match up to my handicap. So I can't really legally use my handicap sticker that's hanging in my car because it goes to my original. I probably could get away with it, but in accountability wise, I would be negligent, really, if I want to be, I don't want to be dishonest.
But do you think they would understand that if you said, hey, we bought this and they haven't?
I think they would. And so again, he said, you'll get it by such and such a day. So my husband, being smart, he's my backup brain, said, I'm going to check on DMV because we were supposed to receive it today to see if it's been really registered.
Okay.
So he checked this morning. Guess what?
It's not been registered?
Not been registered. So he called and finally talked to the woman, and he was, by this time, folks, I said to him, you better not have me call, because I will not be nice. That's their simple job, to just take that piece of paper and send it to DMV. That's all they had to do.
Well, the amazing thing with mine is, when we walked out, we had tags, registration, and everything in hand.
See, and
it was awesome. The ones that we dealt with, I was amazed.
Sometimes they have a DMV department right there.
I was just amazed. It was like here, and it was like, what? It was like, here's your registration, your tags, and everything.
Yep.
And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
We've had that. We had that, I think, at a Colonial
That's amazing.
Subaru up in Colonial Heights, and they had it right there. When you walked out, you had everything. You didn't wait for a temporary. We didn't wait for anything. Now, and where we went, that's a big place. It's a brand new garage, and we bought from them before, but this is not being accountable.
No, and not to even be registered, so
now
anyway,
my husband looked before he left here, and it has been, she sent the registration, because he spoke to the horse's head rather than the other end. And the other end was the accountant who was supposed to give it to her. So he hadn't, as of this morning, when John talked to the woman, had not given the information to her. That's what accountability means to me. Everybody's got to be accountable.
Well, yeah, you are, yes.
And I'm sure, I know I forget people. Like, I sent an email out, I told you, because we're having our free community meal, and to be accountable, the person who sets it up was just checking to make sure everything was a go. And then, oops, there was a misunderstanding. Now, neither one of these people were not being accountable. They were being accountable, but it was a misunderstanding.
Exactly.
And that was, I could understand, and there's a lot of forgiveness. It has nothing. And because it was supposed to be the fourth Saturday of the month, and most fourth Saturdays of the month are the last Saturday, except for August, which has 5 Saturdays. So there was a miscommunication. And that's okay. It means that's forgivable. No one was not being accountable, but the person who's, in charge, and it's his thing. And he's doing that because he wants to do something for the community. And it's great. But he's at work and he can't do this. And he said, could you send out an email? Yes, I will do that. And I did. And I'm sure I forgot some people, but I was as accountable as I could be on my phone. But that's what, it's been one of those things like that. It's like a synergy this week. Every single thing that sort of has been going on, there's somebody who's not being accountable along the line. And if you don't question this, right up to we have a new priest in charge, and we are very excited to share this gentleman. He's going to be great. And the agreement that went through, and it had to go through, of course, the higher ups in the church hierarchy, was signed on August 5th. Okay, so, and he's going to be here September 1st. That's when he starts. And it's so confusing because you've got to get payroll set up, and I don't do that. I've done payroll, but not on this big amount, this big thing for two. So we have a guy that does that. He does that. And then there's, got other things like pension and health care. Oh, how do we pay that? How are we going to do that? So I called the person in charge in our diocese. And that person says to me, well, you'll get an invoice for those two. Okay, that's easy. Thank you, send an invoice.
We can be accountable for that.
We can do that. And you'll get two, one for this and one for that. However, he's not enrolled yet. And the September payments were due August 15th. Well, now, why isn't he enrolled, and has no one asked about this? Because you've got to have some accountability for this to go from one. So I said, well, can we enroll? Well, I need this and this. I said, I can give you that right now. Let's get him on. So I had the information, and this was Monday. So I got him enrolled. So now at least he's in. And they should have done that because they signed the agreement August 5th. You see what I'm saying? Accountability just blew my mind away today. Like, it's like a carbuncle, folks. It came to that big head and you want to pop it. What an analogy. Anyway, I'm fired up. So I got that taken care of. And then of course, since we want it to be consistent, and we didn't pay for September's in August, then we're going to be doubled in September. And that's okay, we'll take care of it. But again, they were going to wait for him to start in September 1st before they get his information? Because then we'll be another month behind. I said, well, I need his information. I'm like, I can give you that. I've got it right here. I've got these. I'll give it to you right off of our papers. So I did. So that's taken care of. But there it is, the accountability. Who was accountable to do what? I don't know.
Well,
make me feel better.
And sometimes that's what happens, is no one knows who's accountable. No one knows whose responsibility it was, so things fall through cracks.
Well, I was just wondering what they were waiting for.
I do this emoji. This is my new emoji a lot.
I saw that. Oh, that's another story about emojis. Notice I sent you my giggly one?
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't find them last night.
You couldn't find your emojis?
I said, wait a minute. And I pushed the wrong thing. So I found it. Oh, I got to send this to her, because now that I found it, I'm going to send it out. And I got to get the one that goes, I don't know, I just work here. See, you need one that goes like that with a little bubble. This is, I don't know, I just work here. That's what we need. See, I'm rare today.
She is, she's fired up today. So we don't even want to talk about the government, huh? Because they are the least accountable people in the world.
The border czar? Is there a border czar? Was there a border czar?
Apparently there was now. I mean, supposedly, she's been doing her job all along.
Really?
The amazement to me is, and I don't even know if it falls under, but see, to me, part of it is accountability, is that 6 weeks ago, she needed to go as well. Nobody liked her. She wasn't doing anything. She wasn't doing her job. 8 weeks ago, nobody liked her in her party or the government or anything because she wasn't doing it. And now she is the savior of the world.
She's got a halo.
It just amazes me. And I mean,
somebody's not being honest with themselves. I'm sorry. And I saw that the person who's running on the independent ticket, Kennedy. I thought I saw that he's considering backing out.
He's considering it because the Democratic machine, I heard today his representative said that the Democratic machine is blocking them on so many different levels, like blocking them from ballots and blocking them in different ways.
Oh, that's just,
and it's just
so, and he'll go and back up Trump.
Possibly so.
Yeah.
Because
again, accountability.
I mean, it's just, and they will not, and I heard last night an interview that was, I guess it was the first night of the DNC, and it was an interview with Pete Buttigieg, and it was a gentleman from Fox that was interviewing, and all he was trying to do was get an answer. At what point did the cabinet realize Joe Biden was incapable of running or not? And the reply was, he's not incapable, and basically, and I'm like, and so.
How about 3 years ago?
My thing is, well, and the person that I was watching it on said, they stopped the video and they said, well, if he's not incapable, then why is he running? Well, I mean, none of that is making sense, and they're not being, to me, this is a matter of not being accountable to the people, not telling them the truth, not being, I mean,
that's it.
I understand that, that it's hard sometimes, like if I had let's just say it this way. When my dad and mom, were sick and stuff, and especially my mom, because my mom had Alzheimer's.
That's tough.
Some of the things that she would do, it was hard sometimes at the beginning. Now, towards the middle and the end and stuff, I got better. But at the beginning, not knowing how to handle it, it was hard for me to sit here and go, "I'm sorry, she's not herself." And to really, because I didn't want to throw her under the bus. I didn't want her, but she would. They do things. They do things and they say things. And so you're trying to excuse it without embarrassing the person, especially when the Alzheimer's person has not fully gotten to where they don't remember. They remember a little bit. So you're trying to keep some dignity. So I understand trying maybe to not throw somebody under the bus, but no, I mean, there's got to be some level, there's got to be something, some level of accountability to everybody and go, hey, we realized, we thought at first that it was nothing, and everybody was trying to work and do, but then we realized it was becoming more of a problem. I mean, I think the American people would appreciate honesty.
Well, see,
there are ways to do it without throwing somebody.
There's so much dishonesty that the dishonest people just expect everybody to be dishonest.
But see, accountability and dishonesty sometimes, because
it's hard to have them work together.
It's because sometimes if you're deliberately unaccountable, you're being dishonest.
Yes, exactly. It's hard to say, okay, you're honest and you're accountable. Yes, but you're dishonest and you're accountable. That means you believe your dishonesty. And some people do that too.
Or they pass the buck.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't my job.
Not my job, it's their job. It wasn't my job, it's their job. It's like, no. See, I don't know what's under the job description. Okay, I have to be accountable to my vestry. But in the same thing, I made a decision the other day that didn't involve the vestry. And I'm like, okay, I'll take that. I'll be accountable for that. And it was basically, can the library put a little library box on the corner of our property? And I'm like, yes. And actually, there is an easement anyway on everybody's property that's public. So, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna, I feel accountable. Yes, I was on it. Put it there. It's a library box with books to borrow.
Well, there's sometimes you have to make a decision, and you have to say, okay, I'm the one that will take the hit or go down with it.
And, and.
Because, I mean, it's just because it needs to be made, and you believe that it's, I mean, I think about governments, and we watch, well, you know yourself, we watch all these kind of shows and movies and stuff, and sometimes somebody has to make the decision, well, it's your call, let's do it.
You have to.
And then it's like, okay, well, we'll just go with it.
We're gonna go and see what happens. And you have to do that, and
it's, but when you're on the end where people haven't been accountable, it really gets frustrating.
And that's
when you're waiting on paperwork, or you're waiting on a phone call, waiting on this because this could be holding something else up, and then, you know, there are times you feel like this isn't my job to keep calling you. You are supposed to call me.
Well, our church phone has not, I've never remembered it worked since we've been there, okay? I've never heard it ring. Ever. Now, so, and I can even tell you the date. In April, I believe like April 13th, but I will say April of 2022.
Okay.
See that?
She's accountable for that date.
We decided, because I made a copy of it, and I got it sitting right home. We decided as a vestry we wanted to incorporate Wi-Fi. And at that time, the best one was Chantel for this area. Okay. And we had CenturyLink. So the junior warden took and he got that accomplished. So we went from CenturyLink to Chantel.
With everything.
With everything. Phone and Wi-Fi. Okay?
You can dial out.
You can dial out, but nobody could dial in.
Okay.
Okay. The number stayed the same. So from that time to now, you've never had a phone call.
Have you tried calling?
I've called them and they say, oh, it works.
No, I mean, have you tried calling the church?
Oh, yeah.
And what does it do?
Nothing. Cannot
Okay.
connect. So I called them and didn't get any information from them. So the junior warden, and bless him, you know him, and he's worked on this now for 2 weeks.
Still to no effort?
Oh, no, it's well, now the phone doesn't work at all.
Does the Wi-Fi work though?
Yes, the Wi-Fi.
Okay, Wi-Fi and internet work.
Still works.
Phone does not work.
So this was the beginning of last week, about a week ago. Well, Chantel, which is Shenandoah Telecommunication Company, okay, and they go by Chantel.
That's all I know them as.
Yes.
Because when she told me that other day, Shenandoah, and I was like, no, we got Chantel.
That's Chantel.
And she's like,
Yeah.
that's it, Karen.
Yeah, that's it. Because I looked at, so he says, well, when did we pay? Well, they said, oh, no, you are on Brightspeed. I said, no, because it says right on.
Well, how would they know you're on Brightspeed?
Here's what happened. CenturyLink sold everything to Brightspeed.
Right, but Chantel didn't.
No, Chantel didn't, but CenturyLink never transferred our phone number to Chantel. They transferred it to Brightspeed, and we never got it. So our phone, therefore, only called out. So,
But why would it call out?
I don't know, sometimes it's like a 911 emergency thing that you can only call out. So while they're working on this, we have no phone at all at the church, but we got several cell phones that work. So in the whole thing, we've been paying Chantel, and it really is with Brightspeed. So they have to reimburse us money for the phone, because we've been paying them for the phone service, which we don't have. So, and Brightspeed doesn't have it. So right now, until the phone gets settled, we have no phone until somebody transfers the phone number to Chantel. Now, is that a case of accountability? Because somebody just didn't do their job. Or it fell through the crack? My question, whose crack did it fall through? Just saying. Just saying.
It just amazes you though, doesn't it?
It does. It's just everything that has really been going on is because of somebody
Has not done what they're
yes,
supposed to do.
their job and not been accountable. And you know and I know that in our jobs, if we didn't, we'd be fired.
Accountability, people, it is
yeah.
important.
It is.
You know, accountability, it goes a long way, because you're accountable to each other, you're accountable to, you're accountable to your spouse, you're accountable to your children, you should be accountable to your church. Anything that you sign up to do, if you sign up for a committee, you're accountable. If you sign up for a team, you're accountable.
Exactly.
Accountability is a big deal.
It is. And it's just everything that you end up having to argue for or go through, it has to do with somebody letting the ball drop and no accountability. My blood pressure's really good though.
Well, that's amazing, because usually it's not really good until you're on medicine. Or on a drug.
Yeah, drugs.
All right, guys, so we're going to get off of here, but we hope that this will, spur you on to accountability.
That's right.
And it's okay to hold people accountable.
It is. And I think our whole world would be a bit better, and even our communities, if we look for accountability and accept that we have some responsibilities.
We do.
To each other and to what we do.
So, all right, well, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.